Good morning, everyone. This is GS Kumar from the city of Bangalore, job hunt coach, LinkedIn marketing trainer, and consultant. Today, we are there for GS Kumar Job Talks with a topic called AI in Hiring, Revolution or Red Flag. Today, we address a most pronounced word, which is AI in hiring, and artificial intelligence is something which is transforming every industry. Hiring is no longer an element which is exception. So one particular element which is disturbing the entire strategy of recruitment, talent acquisition, and the companies is something called AI, where it is influencing in all the factors. Let's have a quick context towards it from World Economic Forum, NASCOM, and LinkedIn. The global shift is something 85 million jobs may be displaced by automation, but 97 million new ones will be created. In India, AI is expected to contribute $500 billion GDP by 2025. 62% of Indian professionals now say career growth depends on AI familiarity. So India holds 19.5% of global AI job postings according to LinkedIn. To discuss this in detail, we have incredible panel members who's joined on a Sunday to have this insightful session over LinkedIn Live and YouTube. Happy to welcome Anindita Pal Datta, AVP and Head of HR, Madhu Jayanti International Private Limited. We have Mr. Satvik Sani, Founders Office, WordWorks AI. Mr. Baran Khan, Founder, Grovita.in. Mr. Siddharth Sharma, Vice President HR, QX Global Group. Mr. Deepak Babe, Senior Backend Engineer, Agile Engine. Mr. Samir Pal, Director, Software Engineering Excellence. So happy to welcome and host you for today's session for the next 2 hours, wherein we will be learning a lot of new elements towards hiring, talent acquisition, and the job market in multiple segments. There are multi-dimensional viewpoints from each panel speaker, where we will thoroughly decode what is happening on the AI front. Let's deep dive. Before that, if you have any comments, you can put it in the LinkedIn comments on what exactly you think on AI's transformation in your job journey. Let's welcome the first speaker, Anindita Pal Datta, whose um, topic can be more towards the transformative role on India's job market, wherein she will be decoding most of the elements in the industry, what is happening, because every business, when you are then going to automation, is something evolving, and technologically, they are fast automation is happening in every industry. So we will try to understand what exactly is happening at this place so that we'll decode more and more. Let's welcome Anindita Pal Datta. Let me pull out in the stage.
I'm on mute. Yeah. Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Kumar, for having me as a part of this panel discussion. I have about 22 years of work experience, and I currently am associated with Madhu Jayanti International Private Limited as AVP and Head of HR. My organization has embarked on this journey around 3 years back, and I am proud to be part of this journey where not only am I learning, I'm also aligning the organization's strategic goals with the human resource department goals using the digital transformation and the AI adoption methods. So yes, I have been part of this journey, and I see a huge potential in this space for every organization to go, grow, develop, and be resilient for the future workplaces. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you for sharing your Sunday for us, for sharing this insightful session. I just want to understand, like, what kind of element which is happening in your industry? Because I understand yours is more towards the non-IT FMCG kind of an industry.
Correct.
So we typically think, okay, more towards IT related stuff is faster transitioning into AI. So what is your thoughts? How is your industry is transforming?
So, Kumar, before I get into my industry details, I'd just like to uh, talk about the AI buzzword, which is creating a lot of aura in every conversation, yet it is often losing its essence. Its essence is often misunderstood. AI, as an artificial intelligence, is not a magic bullet for any organization challenge, nor can it function or deliver outcomes without the backing of genuine human intelligence. So instead of viewing AI as a standalone, we should view AI as an integral part of an organization's digital transformation journey. It typically starts with automation, where human interventions in repetitive or mundane tasks and activities are removed to save time, effort, and ultimately money. It saves cost. Next, it moves into the digitization, where we convert analog records into the rich digital format. These become the future assets and part of your big data for the organization. After we've embarked on that part, we move on to digitization. This is where the automation workflows are built, your prototypes are built. And once that is ready, you scale up to the real digital transformation space, where these AI models work along with the human judgment drive, and then it makes initiatives like predictive forecasting insights for the organization, matching employees to projects in real time, or developing customized learning path for employees. So this blend of AI, human insights, and ethics will lead to innovation, fast experimentation, and agility for an organization to stay truly future ready. So now I come back to your question on what are the roles in the FMCG industry which is creating. So most organizations like FMCG will have the couple of roles I'm going to talk about. I always suggest we start with a digital transformation strategic role. This could be an in-house person for a large organization, it could be a team, or for smaller organizations, it could even be a consultant role. But it is very important for every organization to build their digital roadmap for the next 3 to 5 years before they start the AI adoption plan. Only when you know where you want to be, will you know where you are, and then you trace this roadmap. And there you define your success matrix. And all this has to be done in partnership with the leadership team and the key stakeholders. So once this position has been on board, the next team, which is the most important team, of course, for any digital transformation, is the tech team, is these solution architects which create the architecture and integration blueprint for the organization. Then there are these cloud and development engineers, the software engineers who develop these core applications, the API and system integrations, and the AI ML engineers and data scientists. Every organization needs these to be where it wants to be. One of the primary roles which organization sometimes overlooks is the change and communication lead. This position or a team of this position will actually drive the and align the digital transformation and AI strategy with every stakeholder in the organization. If this buy-in is not there of the stakeholders, and this entire aura of saying that AI is going to kill so many jobs and the insecurities being created by it, then we have a lot of blockers in the system. So this role is going to enable the alignment of the strategy with people at every level, clear communication on how things are going to happen, and what each person will benefit from adopting AI in his or her role or his team. I feel that is one of the most pivotal role in an organization's AI adoption journey. Next, we of course will move on to the learning and development specialist because we all are not aware of what AI is. We have a lot of things in tits and bits around it, but actually, this position will translate the learnings into easy to learn modules and e-learning modules and upskill the team members so that we can adopt AI in a regular day-to-day task. One of the things which is evolving in this space is the user and customer experience designer, because now in today's world everything is optics. So this position will create user-friendly interfaces and end-to-end journeys to adopt, to maximize adoption and satisfaction of the users. And they can prioritize the clarity, accessibility, the emotional resonance at every touch point to turn these instances and interactions into memorable experiences. Only then people will remember, okay, this organization gave me so much of customized user experience. I like to go back to this time and again. And one of the most important things, again, I would say, is the governance, cybersecurity, and the privacy officer of the organization. We have the DPDP Act 2023 in India, and this person should be aligning the organization's policies to go through this audits or checkpoints, so that we are not breaking any rules in the process. In an attempt to jump and create new things, we should not be going against the uh, governance of the country and ensuring the privacy of the employees and the customers. So, to my knowledge, I think, Kumar, this is what an organization like ours should be focusing on.
Okay, so you're seeing or witnessing the evolving nature on 5 years back, and in 2025, you are seeing. So, any new job opportunities which is evolving on this factor? Because we are talking about, is it a revolution or a red flag, right? So, do you see this as a revolution of creating new opportunities, or a red flag for many for getting laid off or job cuts?
No, no, I would not think that this is taking away most jobs, but it is creating more jobs. And I'll tell you one by one where it is creating jobs in something like our FMCG space, for example. It is automating a lot of our routine tasks, right? So I'll say in an organization like ours, around 28 to 43% of time is being saved because we have automated these mundane activities like data entry, invoice entering, etc., report generation. So now an employee has around 8 to 10 hours extra per week, right?
Mhm.
So this is the time when this employee moves to create more creative and fulfilling work for them. This gives
Mhm.
them time to learn, and it also takes away the burnout feeling which we have doing the same job over and over again. So that is one
Mhm.
area. Next is in an organization like us, which has a sales force working, a couple of manufacturing plants together. So it helps predict and rapid issue resolution as well. So with all these IoT machines and all the machines speaking to each other, and we are getting real-time data, so the predictive model can forecast potential system failures for us or potential process bottlenecks in future, which are going to happen. They proactively send triggers to us so that we can plan and reduce the downtime, which would have otherwise been impossible had this predictive model or forecasting model not worked. Similarly, we can now forecast which SKU is going to sell better in the next quarter, and accordingly uh, plan our productions also that way. It also helps resolve queries. We have now, every organization has this AI powered help desk and chat boxes, which is believed to have actually improved productivity by 60%, Kumar. Means that employees spend less time doing routine problem solving work rather than they focus on more complex and impactful tasks to make the organization more profitable in future. One great advantage of all these systems, analytics, and tools are that we are getting real time data, real time analytical dashboards till the last minute is updated for the sales head or the production head or the leadership team to see what their trends are, what their inventory levels are, what their service or performance metrics are. So I think half of India is at least half of India has adopted these measures to ensure that they are up to the point when any bottleneck or changes are coming, they are not taken by any surprise. And how has all this been possible? It has been possible by this huge data team which gives us with meaningful insights so that the leadership team can take better decision making. And it is believed that 60% of white collared employees expect that AI will enhance their decision making quality over the next 5 years. And how it does that? There are various kind of analytical tools available. There are this diagnostic analytics, which helps us understand why a certain problem happened in the past and what we should do to avoid it. The predictive analysis tells us what the forecast or outcome is going to be like, what failures could have happened. And the prescriptive, it is the more advanced level of analytics, which tells us that which specific actions can we take based on these predictions so that we can optimize and maximize our future efficiency. So together with all these things, I think new opportunities for organizations are getting created. And like I said, we are becoming more agile for the future, more resilient for the future.
I think that was my second question, where you have proactively answered, like, what was the positive changes you've been seeing after implementation of AI? So you've covered up a lot of things. See, any organization, if you look at it, they will try to reduce three things: time, cost, and effort. Right.
Correct.
So obviously, the elements which you have spoken in terms of diagnostic model, predictive model, forecasting, and you mentioned 60% of productivity has been increased, and real-time analytics, because these are very, very crucial for sales related element, where we have to have a predictive model to understand what 6 months is looking ahead. So I
Yes.
think that's element is the crux of the element where you have decoded in most of the organizations. So what are the major any inspiring examples you can see in your organization or externally, that these are all giving a positive changes in the entire FMCG industry or overall? Maybe your own personal thoughts you can share.
Yes, so this is making my organization future ready. It is
Mhm.
making my leaders enabled. They are now AI is becoming an enabler. I don't believe it is in any way going to create a crux in the job market, but it is becoming an enabler, a tool which is helping all the teams to take better decisions. Like you
Mhm.
said, I can forecast my sales. Once I know that my sales, these five SKUs, are going to be the most in demand in the next quarter. Accordingly, I will line up my production plan to ensure that these SKUs are ready as and when the customers need it. In the same time, I will also do analytics and see whether there are problems in my logistics or not. There are
Mhm.
problems in my customer service department, whether my TAT is being met. If my TAT is not met, I will again go into this diagnostic mode and understand what my bottlenecks are, clean it up, and then start a new process with the changes in it. So, this design thinking capability is also very important and is stepping into every manager's role in an organization. So one we
Mhm.
have is the AI or digital transformation and the design thinking, where you're probing into your problems. You have data to substantiate and create solutions for you. So this
So
is
do you think it is like a transformation, future ready? We are getting into that mode rather than red flag. You see a revolution or a red flag? One word answer.
it is a revolution, 100% revolution. It is going to create
Okay.
so many jobs in the future.
Okay.
I think we have to learn how to take up the challenge the future is going to give us and make us
Mhm.
future ready as well.
Okay, so have you seen any firing because of this particular artificial intelligence? Because see, sales, of course, without sales, nothing can happen, and people-oriented skills is very must for sales. But apart from that, do you see any firing happening because of not upgrading or not upskilling into AI?
So that is where, Kumar, I feel the organization's maturity and the leadership's maturity will step in. Yes, my machines are now automated. So obviously, I will not need as many people I needed in the past. But these are the people who have tacit knowledge of my organization. Why the hell should I let them go to a competitor? It is my job to reskill them and use them for the next level of jobs which are going to be created in the market. That is where I said the change agent role of leaders step in has to step in, and it becomes very crucial. So I
Beautiful
would
point. I think you
also
have
also
opted for. I think instead of layoff, career pivoting is possible just because of upskilling them. Because since they are not aware about these tools, maybe the organization can initiate, or even the employees can go and upskill themselves to do a career pivoting rather than complaining on this element of AI. So I think. I mean, it's a transformative start which we have started from you. So thanks so much for joining on Sunday and sharing your viewpoints. So, audience and panel members, if you have any questions to Anindita on the transformation role of AI, you can put it in the LinkedIn comments. Thank you so much, Anindita, for joining us on Sunday and sharing your
Thank you,
viewpoints.
Kumar, for having me here.
So, moving on, I think we have really kickstarted a lot of a very, very positive note in terms of future ready element of AI. So, let's bring into the other element on what are the new career opportunities which is driven by AI. So, I will call upon Mr. Satvik Sani. Yeah.
Hi, hi Kumar.
Yeah, founders of his WordWorks AI Help. Welcome, Satvik, to this wonderful session. And you can introduce yourself on who you are, what you do. From there, we can start this discussion.
Right. Hi everyone. Hi JS. So I led the founders office at Birdworks AI, where we are building agentic AI solution for customer service and onboarding set of process. We are actually a global AI startup company based out of India, US, and Middle East itself. So currently, my role is to engage with the people's their understanding where are the pain points there and where are AI can come into the picture itself. Now, very good point mentioned by Anita that I could say is there has been a lot of new shift and transition I feel, and AI automation can actually help bring out more sense of new set of rules and opportunities that is coming into the picture, I could say.
So that's the whole point I wanted to discuss with you because you are in the space and it's a new industry. It is starting. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Satvik? Okay, we are talking about career opportunities in AI, and Satvik is the panel who is joining here. There is some technical glitch which is bound to happen. Okay, adding one more time. Yeah, you're good?
Yeah, I'm really sorry that was.
Yeah. So, what do you think is the new AI-driven roles which is gaining traction, especially in India? Like, what are the typical new roles? Because we know about sales, HR, finance, operation, SEM, multiple roles we already know. But is there any new roles which is popping up? And the people who want to career pivot or they have to start a new job roles in AI, any traction you have seen that these are the new roles available? Can you throw some light on that?
Right. So thank you, Jess. I think so. This is something very much more crucial point that you have just started, because honestly, we are seeing the roles today that has barely existed 3 years ago. I'll give you one of the example of prompt engineers. They are prompt engineers, LLM trainers, answer engine optimizations. These are now very real and very in demand roles. Even LinkedIn has mentioned that almost close to 20% of the global AI job posting are there in just of AI. And actually this is a massive shift that is there in my field, where I'm actually dealing marketing in a day-to-day basis, where I come from generally. So we have gone from SEO, which has been a generalized role, ranking your websites and the search and Google search itself, to AU strategists, right, where optimizing content has not on Google alone, but how you are using these AI set of tools like ChatGPT, Gemini, and rank answers itself. I've worked with people who are building actually content from inside language model, not just on the open web, but prompt engineers are coming, training all the websites and all that in the concept of it and ranking them. And I believe this is not just limited to tech itself, right? What Anita also mentioned, right? Um, she has a very great example of the supply chain. I'll continue and take this from there itself. Even the supply chain and manufacturing, AI based forecasting, intelligent dashboard, and create. So these are the new set of role that has been now coming into the picture, where people doesn't just not need the that have to be very much AI expert. It's more like a domain understanding, and in the top of it a layer of AI fluency, I could say itself. To give you one of the example is, there is one of these new roles that have been opened up in healthcare, that is AI scrubbers. So what they do is,
Mhm.
they actually summarize all the contents of the clinical data and improve the diagnostic part of it. There is one more role, I could say, in the legal or the law department itself, which is called AI research assistant. They help fine tune the large documents that are actually present there. Now firms are actually hiring these people, specifically the very big law firms, to help them fine tune the models itself. So now, one of the most important question I feel, like, why people should prepare and how to prepare, because that is where the major picture lies, right? If you are not able to prepare yourself, I'll break down into three segments. The first segment I would require is awareness. So in your field, start noticing where AI is touching itself. Design, logistics, or teaching, that could be one of the case. AI is there. Start reading those job description, follow the thought leaders, stay alert, stay input. What are the new set of trends that is coming up in the AI? What is the set of automation that is taking into the picture? Once you have gathered that enough set of awareness and information, okay, these are the new set of it, where all the automation is taking into the picture, where all I can contribute to the automation. So once you have this picture, then we have the next set of it, that is the tools itself. uh, Apart from the, see, everyone is now got hold of the chat gpt itself. There are multiple tools, I feel, that goes beyond chat gpt itself. There is Notion is there, Claude is there, right? So I believe you just don't have to read about them, just start using it. Based on your input, there are multiple online platforms and tools available, specifically in AI set of it, where you can just read about it, understand where how you can use it in your current workforce scenario. Now, the third is the most crucial point that I could generally say, that is the most important point, is problem solving. Okay, the key here is pick one real problem at your current job, or generally in a side hustle post your job, if you are into keenly into trying to switch into a AI set of it, and try to solve with that AI. That gives you visibility and confidence. I personally myself have seen people get promoted and noticed just because they are automating one annoying task. That could be one simple set of tasks, and you are able to automate with AI. One of the very big example I could give you is Zapier. It's a very famous tool there. A lot of the companies are actually now using Zapier. It's complex, but once you get hold of how the Zapier tool is working, you will get an insight how a simple email can actually make into a sales lead gen form itself. So these are very gates examples that I can quote of. A few days back, actually, I was watching Satya Nadella's speech, where he recently said the hardest part of AI isn't about the tech actually. It's about getting the people how they change to work. That's why I actually believe every industry is going to need humans who know how to work with AI. That's where the key to unlocking this is there.
Sure, sure, sure. Wonderful. I think there are a lot of elements you have covered on very, very promising and fruitful information. So, do you have any personal experience with you or your friends or colleagues who have transformed successfully from another role to AI, where they have prepared something? Like for the audience, I want to give some insight on how they can start preparing with your inspiring examples or something. So, can you share some notes on those aspects?
Yes, definitely. There are actually quite a few among them. One of this is my story also. But I'll come on to the next part of it. I'll share a story of my friend who actually was in operations when I was working in my previous organization. But post COVID, I have seen this trend, right? People moving and understanding where the tech has been lying. So he started with a very simple thing, understanding how Python is working. He took a few set of online courses, built some actually few dashboard on Power BI, understanding how these data analytics and the reporting was working. A long story short, these initiative led him to a full-time analyst role in that AI team itself, and he's actually serving in that company organization. So he with this set of it, there are all the three elements that I mentioned, right? Awareness, tool understanding, and building a project that actually was implemented in that same set of scenario, and now he's actually inside this same set of organization and leading the team as I speak. I also have been encountered with one of the few people who has been from the content set of background. Now are working with a prompt strategist, drafting those content stories and strategies in the bit. One of the very example I could actually share about, it's very personal, and that is about my story. So we generally, when we started off the marketing, right, in the previous gold is before the bubble of Gen AI busted into it, there has been more traditional and content strategies that have been used, right? But as soon as ChatGPT dropped in, I feel it was more of a curiosity, I could say, to understand where all these AI tools are working. Specifically, I started with writing AI assistant. Then I started beginning understanding how these fully conversation flows for messaging are being taken in picture. What happened is I end up working for agentic AI workflow at my current organization, where we are actually building AI agents for customer success and automating these lead generation for. So from these lessons, what I felt from myself, honestly, you don't need require to be a developer to
Okay.
actually get a hands on it. This is a very big myth that people say that okay, I need to be a tech guy to actually use tech. I feel if you have got the hands on how to use AI in your current set of role, and you are able to upskill on the new set of it in using those AI set of tools, I think so that is well and suffice. Because for me it took a very few time to understand how and what makes a prompt work, how to connect this tool, and how to align with these AI for the business outcome. Because it ultimately, if we are able to convince the new set of it that you have used those AI to solve a particular set of business problem, that not necessarily very large. It could be a very small, simple set of project. Using AI, you have brought us some small set of automation, what Anita actually mentioned, or any small set of project. I think so that would be very useful for your part of it. See,
So,
because
Satvik, one question here. How much time you took from transitioning to a previous role to this one, understanding preparation? How much time? It is like 3 months or 6 months. So, what exactly is the timeline behind
it
it?
generally defines on your set of perspective. In my personal
Use
experience,
cases. Hmm.
because see, somebody wants to be very much into a from a non-tech side of it, and they purely want to go into the software development. They generally
Okay.
take a period of 3 to 6 months, depending on where the learning curve at the present is there. Sometimes it might takes to get an hold of into till a 1 year to fully transition to a SE role. But what
Okay.
I believe is, if you are into a present current set of role, and with these the present AI tool that is there, and where you want to build, like I'll best example what my previous speaker Intra mentioned, right? In the manufacturing side, lot of the jobs openings are there in terms of AI forecasting and dashboarding itself. You're
Hmm.
already
Hmm. Hmm.
into the floor layer itself. Once you get the hands of it, I think so that will hardly takes more of a learning of 1 to 2 months itself. I feel post that you are still ready to transit themselves, to your thought leader itself, that okay, here I'm prepared, and this is something that I can more bring into the picture, and this is something more advanced that can be brought up. So these all things, it depends on the roles wise perspective. Generally, it takes a period of 3 to 6 months, I could say itself.
3 to 6 months. Okay. So, my understanding is the foundation remains the same. Your core skills remain the same, but you are elevating with the use of artificial intelligence in multifold methods so that the organization or the individual or the customer gets benefit out of it. Is that my understanding right? Wherein
Right.
the core remains the same. Like you said, one example of a content writer who's before AI, they will be writing manually, thinking about various things, analyzing Google content, and then come out and curate a blog or a newsletter or a product description, whatever. Now, when AI is there, they will use ChatGPT, Grok, or multiple tools to curate all content. Instead of 30 minutes, I'll spend only 5 minutes. So, is that a way where I can speed up my the core expertise and then transition to a faster role, or what is your thought process on that?
See, I believe AI is just an additional layer to wherever their code working is there. you know
Okay.
uh, if you understand what is your core business or what exactly you want to portray, right? And if you add that AI layer, that's where the new shift is there, because every basic set of the thought process are basically done by AI itself. That is helping the people do the work faster and better. That's where I believe is the new set of market and trend that is there.
Fantastic, fantastic. So one final question will be like, now that we know that this transition will really help in my career, if I am a starter, like I'm into non-IT, let's say I'm into purchase or procurement or something completely into non-IT and no way I have a touch. So if I have to start, what kind of a certifications or what kind of a skills I have to kickstart so that I start my journey towards AI?
Okay. Uh, that's exactly the question I have got from few of my friends who actually does ask me. I want to get into AI, how I can do it. So I'll break down again into simple points or the three practical pillars that have I myself have done it.
Okay.
The first segment is how to talk to AI, and the first part is prompt itself. This is where everything is now changing, right? When I started to learn about prompts, I stopped thinking of the tools like GPT as assistants. I started treating okay, these are my collaborators, where basically as my team who will help me perform a specific set of tasks itself. you know the second part I could relate, or they could say it is specifically this is for the people who actually wants to go into purely a software set of role, I could say. you know how to understand how to build AI without coding itself, because a lot of the non-tech roles, they generally say, okay, I don't understand tech itself. How will I build a AI app itself, or how will I work with AI itself? I believe there are a lot of no code tools available in the market. If you get the hands of what exactly you want to build itself, and you understand how these tools are functioning, so this tools can be helpful in building of it. I myself have built a lot of prototypes with these set of tools and internal workflows without actually writing the code itself. A lot of the tools that I can talk about is Bubble is there. Zapier I spoke about, right? Zapier automation is one of the very easiest, I could say. Suppose if I could give you very one short example, you can automate a lead gen form through any set of process. Like suppose if you are being a sales guy itself, right? You've gotten a lead. Now you have to reach out to the prospect, but you have to reach out to him multiple times, right? So I believe Zapier is one of the very automation set of tools. You just plug and play into it, put in a set of automation, understand where and what has to be pitched into it, and it automatically does this part itself. So Notion is one of the very big example. That is another example. I believe
So somebody who's starting the a career in AI or pivoting to these areas, these are the tools they have to get prepared and get certification, or at least do
right.
a 3 months to 6 months certification for this.
Right. Yes, that is there. I believe not just certification, because there are few set of certification that you could say is. One is of the Databricks intro to generative AI. If you just wanted to understand how generative AI is working, that is one of the very fastest way to understand how that is there. There is one more certification I could say is the deep learning chat GPT prompt for developers. This is actually easily available in Cura. You don't have to generally pay for the course. You can just audit and learn
Okay.
how this prompt engineering is actually working itself. There is one more course, super beginner friendly, I could say, is learnprompting.com. Prompting, basically from prompting.com. So these are very short beginner friendly courses where you can understand how these AI is working, understand how these prompt are basically built. Use this prompt for using on the no code tools. Once you get the holds on these no code tools, you can get to know how these real time applications are being built. And with just one single set of prompting, right, you can build those real time application itself. Now I believe one more
Wonderful,
point just
wonderful.
to add is,
So, in the interest of time, we will move on to the next thing. You can just put the certifications, whatever you have spoken. It is something very, very new to the audience, wherein we don't even know that these kind of opportunities are existing. So, whatever the other tools are there, you can put it in the LinkedIn comments for our audience, so that people who want to get into a AI career, that will be really, really useful for them. I'm sorry for cutting short, because I'll have to talk a lot of other dimensions towards it. But of course, there are a lot of new things you have shared in these last 10 minutes. Thank you so much for this. And so, do you think it's a revolution or red flag in your opinion?
I definitely see as a revolution.
Okay, okay. So thank you so much for joining, and stay with us till the end, so that we'll have one more discussion. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you, Jace.
Fine. Now get into the third segment, which is more towards the upskilling part of it, where we have got the basis of career, where I have to start, what are the career opportunities I have just have to look into, what are the preparatory elements I have to do, all that. Now it is more towards the real upskilling, where I have to put my hands on. So happy to welcome Bharan Khan, from founder of Grovita.in EdTech platform. Happy to welcome Bharan, and thanks for joining us on a Sunday. Just wanted to understand, what do you do, what all services you do. Then from there we'll start the conversation.
Well, thanks a lot, Kumar, for having me here. Excited to be part of this. Myself, Baran, I'm the founder of Grovita.in. It is an AI-driven learning platform for IIT and JEE exam aspirants. So what we do is basically it's a practice-first platform where we ask certain questions to the aspirants. Basis on that, we have certain AI algorithms which judges their performance, provides granular level reports and analytics around where they're lacking in terms of the topics, as well as how you're performing in the first 15 minutes of your exam, how you're performing in the last 15 minutes, what is your psychological state, and all of that. So there's a lot of data analysis that we do through the AI in this platform.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thanks for sharing your Sunday with us. And I think you've been hands-on comparing to us. You've been doing hands-on with AI, and day in, day out, you are dealing with AI. So I think you will be the right person to ask on the upskilling and reskilling part of it, because AI is in something not which is like optional, it is essential right now. That is a kind of a data which we are speaking. So, what do you think? What kind of upskilling programs or certifications which will really help somebody who's a job seeker into IT or non-IT space will really helpful in getting into this kind of AI kind of a vertical?
Well, Kumar, I think we should break it down into certain parts. Satvik has given a lot of great insights around this. So basically, we need to understand how to leverage AI. That is the first thing. So Satvik, as he has pointed, prompt engineering is the one of the most important skill that you need to build, and there are a lot of courses that are available. I'll name a few at the end of this, and then the second one is how to adopt AI. So I'm not just directly jumping onto the certification. I'm trying to provide an approach of how to do it. So basically, how to adopt it is start utilizing AI into your personal life, writing certain emails, plan a meal at your home, and these kind of stuff, or give it to your kids and help them do their homework and all of that. What that does is it puts this AI into your DNA. Then you are able to visualize it in a much more adaptable fashion. And after that, then dig deep down into it and understand what is my domain expertise and what kind of skill set I need to do to basically grasp to automate or implement AI into that. Only then you get into the deeper certifications. Before that, you can do some certifications like Growth School is a great platform, which is more around providing certifications which are more towards skills, not just okay, learn generative AI or learn prompt engineering, all of that, but it is more purpose driven. How to leverage AI in Excel, how to leverage AI for reporting, how to leverage AI for resume scanning, how to leverage AI for LinkedIn for that matter. So those kind of platforms just understand what exactly are the buckets that you need to fill and automate, and then go and browse through growth school. And if you want to actually dig really deep down after you have done this journey, then you can actually explore Google and Microsoft and IBM. They provide actually courses which are free of cost, and they
Hmm.
provide right from the beginner to the expertise level. So there's no one course that I would actually recommend. I would like people to judge basis on this approach. And then given that it is not just for the technical people, it is for the non-technical people, then again there are certain certifications which are around mastering certain tools around a particular profession. So there are courses which are okay, master AI for accounting, master AI for HR domain, master AI for finance. So there are certain no code tools which are already there. What they can do is they can give you a demonstration of these tools, and they can help you understand certain use cases which you are doing manually at this point of time, and help you leverage AI in those domains. I think that is the approach we should be going forward with in terms of upskilling.
That's what what I've learned is like initially you play around with your own natural use cases of preparing a meal or email or productivity so that you get a hands on what exactly the output it is given, and it might be a little fascinating to more on multiple use cases on a daily basis. Then you specifically said a goal like AI in HR, AI in sales. Like instead of going haywire here and there, randomly picking multiple things, it is best to have a goal which is related to our own industry. Is that what you are suggesting?
That
Okay,
is correct.
okay.
That is correct. Yes. So you need to have a focus and a purpose, and then seek the skill set that you need to build.
Okay, so we must have a goal on our own career, our own foundation. Then you build a specific targeted goal to achieve through AI for your own career so that you pivot or grow in your career.
Yes,
That
yes,
way?
exactly. So I'll give you. Yeah. So sorry, you were saying something.
No, no, go ahead, go ahead.
Okay, so I'll give you certain use cases. So every department in a company, let's say I'll just name a technical a startup for that matter. So we have a content team, we have finance and accounts, and we have the technology team, we have designers, we have digital marketing team. All the departments are there. So instead of deciding what is the holistic approach of transforming this entire company and making it AI driven, what we try to do is basically at the individual level we try and train them how to leverage AI in your specific role. So for example, with the SEO domain, there is, you need to do the keyword analysis, you need to do the market research, then you need to build a SEO strategy, then you need to build the content around it. So there, then you need to identify what are the tools that are available for this each of these buckets, and then start mastering those buckets and fulfilling them, and then start introducing them into your process, instead of saying okay, from today onwards let's adopt this particular tool which is AI driven and let's transform everything. That will never work.
Hmm.
So your skill
Okay.
set has to be improved gradually, and it has to be handled it that way.
Fine, fine, fine. So I'm sure you might be having a different foundation altogether, and then you have transitioned to this kind of a business or industry. So, what kind of upskilling you did in terms of technically or maybe personally to come into this kind of a role where you are in right now? Is there any preparation which went or time investment done or upskilling done in the entire process?
Yes, my thought process is little different from the current set of thoughts actually that are circling around in the industry. So we don't believe AI is just for automating. AI
Hmm.
is technically giving you a workforce.
Okay.
Anything that you are currently doing can be automated, and if it
Hmm.
can be automated, this particular job role will vanish. So
Hmm.
that is the thought process that we have. And I'll give you the process, the perspective from both the, as an employer, as an employee, because having a
Hmm.
company we have to think from the both aspects. We
Right.
encourage our employees to put their thought, okay, AI is helping you optimize your work, AI is saving a lot of your time. Now if AI is able to do this much of work, it will actually eat your job today, if, tomorrow if not today, right? Then you
Hmm.
need to aim for something which is way above your pay grade. At this point of time you need to prepare for something which is a whole new set of contribution elements that you should be focusing and preparing on. For example, now that your content can be automated, your content can be written by SEO tools, these content writing tools, your SEO can be automated, your strategy can be created by this. Can you step up, and can you step up and drive this entire workforce of AI agents and AI tools and help us execute this entire thing at the company wide level rather than just sitting there and only write an article for us. So we
Right,
don't need
right.
that. We don't need people who do the execution because execution is being automated. We need
Okay.
people who are thinkers. So
Hmm.
you have to be a contributor rather than just an executor for us, right? So that
Hmm.
is the employee's perspective. Okay, these are the skill set that we need to focus on. Now from the employer perspective, I would want a person who will take an ownership and say, okay, these are the AI tools. You have given these tools to me. Now let me figure out what all I can do for you. Because AI is
Yes.
not having limited skill set. It is completely dependent upon your imagination, what kind of things you can build. It's just amazing. So you won't want a role for a content writer. You will want a role for a marketer who can actually make things work for me, help me rank at the top. Now, if for that you have to create an image, you don't have to wait for a graphic designer. You can do that
Hmm.
through
Hmm.
AI itself, right at
Hmm.
your table. And you can do the kind of analysis that even the data analyst cannot do manually at this point of time. AI is helping you do that as well. So I would give a job to a person who'll say, okay, give me the tools and let me figure out what needs to be done and let me do that. But then
Hmm.
in on the hindsight, I'll also have to think through the, okay, what kind of compensation we want to give to that person, because
Correct, correct.
salary will not work for it.
Hmm.
These
Hmm.
kind of assets, not just the
Right.
employees, these are the assets. So entire job role is changing, and that is the philosophy that we have embedded here. What we do is we master all the AI tools, we do a deep down research of all the AI tools, and then we sit together and we understand what kind of next level things we can do. And the second aspect is what are the things that we are currently doing that AI will actually eat, if not today, tomorrow again. So what is different, or what is it that we need to do to stay ahead of time? AI is moving
Hmm.
really, really fast. And unless you are able to embrace it and execute it collectively with the spirit of everyone contributing from the innovation perspective, not just the execution perspective. So we are doing all the certifications around it. We are doing all the automations around it. We are purely an AI first company. We do all the implementations first with the AI, and only then we ask the employees to, okay, what is left is your part of the things to be done, and then figure out in your spare time what is the new thing that we can bring to the table.
Right,
So
right,
that is how
right.
we are going ahead.
So one learning what I got is creativity is something may not be replaced by AI, right? It is all inborn, the human built creativity, uniqueness, which we can use for different use cases where I cannot think like you cannot think like me, and my use case and your use case are completely different. The outcome can be completely different based on how I use creativity. Right. So for my use case,
Uh,
maybe I'll do a poster for a webinar or a workshop where I'll do little here and there. But for your use case, you might be doing multiple prompting methodology and other things where the output can be even more 10 times better. So I think creativity element is something very unique in terms of upskilling where the use case can be completely different.
there is a very, very thin line that defines creativity actually from the AI perspective.
Okay.
It's a chicken and egg kind of thing. So what you are doing is you are leveraging AI to do the creative stuff. And
Okay.
then because you are leveraging AI to do the creative stuff, your creative level is going actually down, right?
True,
And then
true.
because your creativity level is going down, AI is not getting new data to learn from. So
Correct,
their
correct.
creativity level is getting to a stagnant point. So if you
Hmm.
blindly believe AI and keep on doing those things, there will be a point where we'll be like getting dumber and dumber from the skill set and creativity perspective. So what you have
Hmm.
to do is you'll have to make sure and always remember AI is a tool that you need to leverage, but creativity or thought process is something that you'll have to bring out from your brain itself. So set think about what you want to do, put down all your thoughts on the table, only then touch the AI for that. If you're taking
Yeah.
all the ideas before, then it's not working out for you.
Absolutely bang on. Very, very vital point you have put across because that dimension many of us don't think. Like as you said, the more and more creativity you give the input, that's how the AI is also learning from you. No, now like what kind of output I have to give. If you're giving very minimalistic information, then AI may not enlarge to a level of thinking and advanced thinking and give output. That's a very, very valid point. So one final question will be what kind of advice you want to give to the job seekers who are in this arena, and what kind of a prioritization they have to make for AI so that they stay competitive. because we no longer keep on complaining, my job has been cut and layoff has been done, but rather we have to be a little precautionary and do some steps to avoid these kind of circumstances. So, what are the priority things? Even if somebody is at no risk, what are the prioritized steps, preparatory aspect they have to do on upskilling? Your final thoughts, please.
Uh, there are certain aspects that I would like to point out from all the aspects that people actually, the biggest thing that is overwhelming people is all the marketing elements that we are looking at, maybe on Instagram. Okay, this guy has created this robot which is doing so many stuff, and then you created a camera which is sensing everything and doing everything for you, and all of the these, and people are getting to a belief that okay, I have to be a technical person, I have to be an engineer to
Correct.
embrace AI, and hence I cannot actually get into this. That it is not that way. First thing is, you need to understand, even a non-technical person can leverage it, and they are the people who can actually leverage AI technology much better, because they only know how to use it rather than building it. We end up building it and we never get to the using part of it. So that is there. And then start mastering certain tools. uh, Satvik and Anandita ma'am, all of them have already pointed out, you need to master certain tools and start using them, embrace them within your family, within your structure. For example, for my kids, we have created certain GPTs who are helping them doing the homework. I've created my own persona who they can talk to. And
Okay.
so it's just building that emotional connect with them and then do that kind of stuff and all of that. So the more you embrace it in your daily life, the more prepared you are for them. I have already emphasized on that part. Then figure out your purposes and master the tools, the chat gpt, the perplexity, the claude, the grok, and all of these. The reason why I'm saying these is because every LLM has certain set of skills which they are really good at. So perplexity is really good in researching. ChatGPT is good at, like, right at the general level itself. So identify these tools and then try and read more about the use cases that they are addressing. That way you have the mindset, and then it's just a matter of figuring out what are the skills that I need to get, and there's like n number of courses. And then there's a great saying in my company particularly is that AI is the cure for the disease which is AI. So if you don't know AI, use AI to learn AI. So
Okay.
just
Okay.
keep on talking to it. It will make sure you are like ahead of time for everyone.
Wonderful, wonderful. I mean, 15 minutes is not enough for me to discuss, and this is just a start for having this conversation. I think very, very beautiful, unique key insights we have shared in last 15 minutes. And thank you so much for joining. And if you have any questions to the panel or audience, you can put it in the LinkedIn comments and stay with us till the end so that we can get the final key takeaway. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining, Paran.
Thank you. Thanks, Kumar. Thanks a lot.
All right, so let's move on to we have understood career opportunity transformation and upskilling part of it. Now comes the leveraging AI tools for job hunting. So most of us, when we got introduced to this AI, we started preparing our resume, LinkedIn, or cover letter for or sending an email message. We've just got used to those kind of a format where we start facilitating AI for those job hunting kind of a use cases. Now we have a very senior HR person who can throw some light on how they are reviewing their profile, resume, or LinkedIn, on what kind of a job hunt is really looking into those realistic market. So happy to welcome Mr. Siddharth Sharma, VP HR QX Global Services Ahmedabad. Happy to host you, Mr. Siddharth, and thanks for joining on a Sunday. I just want to know about what exactly is your role is and what your industry does, and just quick understanding of what you do, so that from there we'll start.
Sure. Thank you so much for inviting me at this forum, GS. And in fact, thank you to you for creating such collaborative learning sessions that you've been doing week on week, wherein we get to know a lot about each other and what is happening in the tech forum. So my name is Siddharth Sharma, and I've got close to 19 years of experience into HR. And when I talk about HR, it's just end-to-end employee lifecycle. I'm part of a company called QX Global Services, which is into financial outsourcing. And we help the corporates to work better on their finances And to summarize into a little better or layman language, we do work on to like accounts payable, accounts receivable, month-end closing, taxation. So these all work that we do for our clients based out of UK and US. And this particular industry is also seeing a lot of change when it comes to AI technology, because business transformation is one piece that we've seen in this particular industry and which is helping the clients, because today client does not just seek that, okay, can you help me in terms of outsourcing, that I have got this 10 people job and you can offshore it. They seek that, okay, what is the value that you can give me into the technology piece? If I have got certain bills which are coming to me, can you fasten up the process? Is there a bot that can fasten up the process? So all these things are now coming into every business process that we are doing. We did hear from Anindita from the manufacturing FMCG sector, but this is all now stepping into the service industry as well.
Hmm.
And if I go back into my previous experience where I was being part of the service industry, which is travel and non-travel as well, everywhere in the service industry, wherever there is a lot of volume work that is there, everyone seeks automation and how to reduce the time and bring efficiency for everyone who's contributing for that work.
Hmm, hmm, hmm. Wonderful. So I'm very curious because we are job seekers and we try to impress HR like you. We prepare resume, LinkedIn, in-mail messages, email messages. So how do you see this when you are at the receiver end? How do you see this transformation of a resume coming from a chat GPT? Do you see a differentiation in the method of preparation, or what is your viewpoint when somebody is sending you a resume or LinkedIn or an email in that point of view? I'm just curious to ask this kind of question. Yeah.
Yeah, that is very interesting part, GS. And I would draw inference from what Baran was saying. What's happening today is that many of us are getting into, a kind of cognitive atrophy, which
Hmm.
means that there is somewhere that we are stopping our cognitive behavior to stop thinking, and we are
Hmm.
so much dependent on this particular AI,
Correct.
right? And when we look for out for job, we all of a sudden forget that what are the skills that we have been using in our job, and we stop thinking
Correct.
about it, and we do something really out of the box, or we try to think out of the box and try to create a resume which is so fancy, which is not to your real self.
Hmm. Hmm.
But let me tell you the reality that when we post job today, and say someone from my team posts job onto LinkedIn or say Naukri.com, so various job board, we get. I'm giving you just real figures on one job that is posted. In 2 days' time, there are close to 300 to 400 resumes being applied,
Right. Right. Right.
and in that whole scheme of thing, what happens is the real job seeker is lost.
Yes.
And
Yes.
that is where you will have to outshine, you will have to do something different, that your resume comes in the top.
Hmm.
And coming there is where you need to be real to yourself. You need to see that, okay, what is the job that you're applying? If that particular skill is what that you really have, you just cannot go ahead and keep applying onto the job because you are into need of job.
Hmm.
So if
Hmm.
somebody is looking, I'll just give an example from my industry and from my fraternity, that if somebody is looking for a sourcer job or a recruiter job, then what are the skill set? What are the keywords within the HR fraternity, within the recruitment fraternity? This is what it is important, that we need to identify the keywords.
Hmm.
Similarly, when anyone is searching and looking for jobs on various job board, it is very easy that you go onto the Google, you just put in the certain keywords, that what are your keywords. You need to identify that what are you doing today. If you are a recruiter, then you need to find out the keywords. Okay, I am an IT recruiter, or I am a non-IT recruiter, or I am sourcing AI gen folks, or I'm sourcing FMCG folk. And that particular skill that you need to look out, you need to look for those jobs and apply for those jobs. Now, when applying for those jobs, people just create resumes. And while we've been talking about so loud that AI is still an artificial intelligence. We have our own cognitive intelligence and we do not use that. And while creating that resume, I can vouch for it that 90% of the resumes GS that we receive are still those old formatted resume which do not talk about what that person is really doing. They
Okay.
use superficial word. I've done this very nicely. Strong acumen. What do you mean by strong acumen? There's nothing as strong acumen, right? So there has to be, quantified thing that you're doing onto your particular profile, and you need to put that on your resume. And while
Hmm.
you want to do that, if you're taking help of any particular AI, coming back to our earlier panelists who talked about prompts, so we need to use the right prompt that, okay, what is the resume that I want to build upon?
Right.
Which are the website that I want to go upon? And if you have a particular job description, your particular resume and job description should have a match.
Hmm.
A match does not mean that even if you've not done that skill, you add on to those skills. Because ultimately, what will happen that whenever the interview is happening, your real self is going to come up.
Correct.
And this AI is doing one thing that anyone, any layman person is now coming to a person of learned person in terms of the documentation until unless the
Hmm.
person really faces the interaction. So
Hmm.
we need to know that what is your resume about and how you can build upon. There are certain tools that we can always, look for. So one of those tools for building up your resume is the careerflow.ai. You can look for Kick Resumes. You can look for Zeti. You can look for resume.io. If not, forget about all this. Go on to Copilot or ChatGPT. Just download the job description, look for the key skill set, and then upload your resume as well. And just put a prompt that which are the key skills which is matching in this job description and with my resume. That is the
Hmm.
best thing that anyone can do, because
Hmm.
what is happening today is that we as an HR or as an organization, all the companies are trying to get the best of the ATS which can stack the resumes as per the best keyword. So when those that stacking happens, you need to be sure that your resume has that keywords.
Hmm. Yeah, no, that's been we are teaching our clients on the keyword part of it because that's how headhunting happens, especially for the mid-career and senior leadership profiles, where ATS is more towards the volume of hiring, like BPOs and fresher hiring, where ATS will have a major role in shortlisting the profiles. But mid-career and leadership is more towards the uniqueness of deliverables, where it may not be the right element to look into. I'm just curious to understand, like, in your industry or in your company, like, what are the tools, AI tools, which you are using for any sort of talent acquisition hurdle, which is like, earlier it was very tough, but after that, AI, it is making your job easier. Is there any tools which you have implemented in your company where it is helping you in the talent acquisition?
Yeah, certainly. That is one of the basic tool that everyone is now implementing, and we've put in is the AI stacking of the resumes. The another one that
Okay.
we are also getting into the AI interviewer, because we get so many profiles, and it is not about just any of the role which is for the mass interview for a KPO or a BPO. Today, you get resumes even for the leadership position. If you just put one leadership position or a mid level position, there are 500 applicants for that one particular role. And to reduce the time, to get into the efficiency, you will have to put in that right tool, and that AI interviewer plays that role. Now, one was the aspect that to create resumes. So, whenever we do job hunt, there are certain things that we always need to do. First is to identify your skill set, what you are doing, because until unless you know that what you're doing, you'll not be able to create your profile. Second is about creating your resume. And third, once you've created the resume, how do you find the job is finding the right job boards. While there are so many people who are there on Instagram, they keep posting X many things that here are the remote jobs, here are these particular job boards, but it really doesn't work in India. In
Correct,
India,
correct.
you got to remember that you've got only top three or four. First
Mm-hmm.
one is your Naukri, which has
Okay.
got monopoly, LinkedIn, and then follows the other, which could be your career builder, Times Job, or Simply Hired.
Yeah.
Now, what is the face of or particular candidate? What is your face? What is my face? LinkedIn. So we
Mm.
first need to always go on LinkedIn and get your LinkedIn profile ready. We can talk about the LinkedIn later, and also we can refer to our earlier session that happened last week on LinkedIn. Now, coming on to the piece of interviewing or how do you present yourself. Now, even though we are very good at our job, I might be one of the best coder, one of the best engineer. I've been, impressing my client, and while working with one particular client set or working with the same set of people, we get so comfort, or we get a comforting zone out there, that whenever we go out to a new place, a new set of people, we are not able to express ourselves. We are
Correct.
not able to put our pointers right, which, and that doesn't mean that we've not done that job, right? So that is where you'll have to test your skill. You need to go on to certain places for mock interviews. And when we talk about such AI tool, there are many AI tools that you can always practice, do the mock interviews. You can always test your skills in terms of writing your speech. So Yodlee.ai is one of those tools that you can go register yourself. It's all free. You
Wonderful.
can go and then have any kind of mock interview. You can just put in your skill set and you get interviewed yourself. You get your results and you do analysis. So Yodlee is there, skillora.ai is there, Brain Trust is there. And these are the particular platforms and all the other platforms which are the paid platform as well, which the employers are also using it. So it is always good that you yourself go onto those platforms, test your skill, how well you are doing there, get the analysis of AI, and you can always improve and improvise on those particular skill set. Now,
Wonderful. I mean, that's a chain of beautiful insights you have structured in a sequence. Like one final question will be like, what is your best tips? I think you've given the tips, but what is your best advice when somebody thinking that HR is an alien and I have to impress a lot and those kind of thinking job seekers? What is your best tips? That what do you expect from a job seeker in the process of hiring?
so as a job seeker, we should always think that the other person on the other side, he or she is not a demigod. That person is also a human being trying to find the best person for that role. And none of the recruiter or the HR team would want that a particular position is open for 30 days and he or she is reviewing so many resumes, interviewing people, and same is the hiring manager. So today, if you are looking for your particular organization, if you are hiring a digital marketer, you would want that position to close in quickly,
Correct.
right? So as a job seeker, I should see that, am I sending my right resume? Am I applying it just in time? Because if you are a job seeker, you have to be first in that queue. You just cannot be thinking that, okay, I will build my resume now and I'll do. The moment you see a job, you'll have to get your resume curated, crafted for that particular job description and send it right away. Second is that how you can make yourself available outside this AI world. Now, this AI has just come in. This is all about, I'll emphasize on the word is artificial. At our level, at your level, GS, when we used to look out for job, of course, online platforms were still there. We used to even send resumes by post and emails.
Correct.
However, in today's world, one thing that we are forgetting, and this generation is forgetting, that networking is very much important.
Exactly.
You got to network very well, even if you have sent your resume, best of the resume, how well you network on LinkedIn, how well you are seen on LinkedIn, your social profile. Your LinkedIn profile could be one of the best, but the moment anyone goes on to the Insta profile, it is something else. Your Facebook
True.
profile might be something else. So your social image is very important, that how well that you portray yourself, how well you network in your fraternity, even if it is, say, you are a digital marketer or you are a coder, you have a fraternity for yourself. Do you visit that fraternity? Are you part of those fraternity? Do you go for the get-togethers? Does one of the seniors know you? And your skill is known in your circle. It is not on the resume itself.
Correct.
You might have created the resume so very well, but are you able to articulate yourself when you go on to the online interviews or face-to-face interviews? How well you present yourself? Today's generation think that putting up a jazzy photograph is cool, right? But then it is not just your particular photograph, how well that you put it in the professional forum. how well you are able to put those right words there. Do you really put a meaningful response to the question being asked? And that's where you need to do self assessment, introspection. Now, for
Correct.
self assessment, introspection, these tools are there, but there is no solution, no AI that can beat networking.
True,
And
true.
there is no AI, which again, going back to what Baran was saying, that if you do not have your creativity and if you do not have your content, then you cannot go ahead and win the heart out there. You cannot win any job that is there available in the market. And content creation is very much important.
True.
So even if you have to create content for a particular session, AI can just assist you. It is an enabler that we have been talking about. AI is just an enabler, but you would still need to create your own content. When you're giving the prompt, and that's why the prompts are important, not what the content. Because if there is a prompt that you would create and you would ask the right question, you would get the right answer. There are emails that people do draft, and at times they would just say, please respond to my this email. AI also gets confused. AI will not respond in blank. You will have to first draft something and
Correct.
customize something. And that's the reason that many responses, when executives read certain responses, email responses, they just tell it, oh, this is an AI response. This guy has not even thought about it and just sent an email.
Right, right,
Okay.
right. True, true, true.
So you
I mean,
need to
one
do
keyword
your
which I'm getting is the networking part of it, where it cannot be replaced by AI, because that is the majority of job seekers is missing out. Because as you could have also witnessed, we are not networking until we are in layoff. Because a lot of LinkedIn posts, when they start posting, it is only because of layoff. Okay, I got laid off in my job. Can you help me? That is the kind of a posting we get usually when they do a job loss. But as and when we join a company itself, we should start networking actively when we are at no risk. That's the element which we usually suggest our clients. So that one part you have also stressed from a point of view from your talent acquisition point of view. So I think that's a very, very bang on point, where which is a promising note for the audience. So thank you so much for joining on a Sunday and sharing your viewpoint on various new things which we have not even thought about in from our own user perspective. But since you are in the opposite user interface and vertical of hiring, you have shared a lot of new value addition in the entire conversation. So thank you so much for joining on a Sunday. So if you have any final thoughts, you can share here.
So I would, as a closing note onto this, GS, I would always say that be true to yourself, believe on your content, create your own content. Do not be dependent on these external AI based content. Network, reach out to people in person outside of this so called AI world. And that's where you will be able to create value for yourself as a candidate, as an employee, and as a person. So having your real self is always important, and that's where you can always beat all these AI tools. And AI is just an enabler. It is certainly a revolution, but it will still remain enabler, and it can never beat the cognitive self of what the human can bring to you or to everyone.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. So thank you so much for joining on a Sunday, and hope to see you on upcoming sessions as well. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Sure, thank you.
All right, thank you. So now we have seen from a HR point of view on how they are reviewing the CV or LinkedIn or the email chains, which we regularly bombard with them. How they are practically viewing, and all that is what is being shared in the realistic perspective. Now I'll move on to AI as a career advancement partner, wherein how we can maximum utilize to elevate our career in a better position onto that. So happy to welcome Mr. Deepak Babe, who is into a senior backend engineering kind of a role, where he's day in day out dealing with a lot of softwares, AI, and other tools. So he will be giving a practical input on how AI can be as a career advancement partner in our own career. He has that practical experience in dealing with and love to share that viewpoint. Happy to welcome Deepak. And what do you do, and what is your job on a daily basis, and what do you see this?
Yeah, thanks a lot, Kumar, for having me here. And I am here to share my insights on how to, use AI to basically leverage your own productivity. But before that, I'll give just a brief about my own journey. So I am a software developer, and I have worked in all type of roles. I've worked in individual contributor roles as a tech lead, tech mentor, architect, and overall, I have 16 years of work experience. I have worked in all type of companies. I have worked in startups. I was the first employee of my first company. I have worked in where I was working as a senior software engineer. To data backup, e-commerce. I have also worked in machine learning. You can say I was building few of the ML operators for AWS SageMaker Neo. I worked in conversational AI, wherein just now Siddharth was talking about AI interviewer, right? So I had worked on similar kind of tool, which is Avoma, which basically helps in building these kind of platforms like used for sales coaching, for recruitment coaching, or for tech interviewing. All those platforms. And lately, I am currently working in a company, Agile Engine, where I work for a client where we work on file transfer protocol server, where we are again using AI to, so basically my role till now was more of I have worked on little bit on front end, but my core expertise is backend developer, and AI has helped me to leverage myself as a T-shaped engineer. So now many of the people might not know that buzzword. What is a T-shaped engineer? So basically everyone has one basic talent, one basic skill, okay, which they are naturally good at. So mine is like logic building, creating backend engines. I have also worked in gaming, and also I have even created the architectures for games and all. So my primary skill is how the business logic layer works. I'm very good at it. But how AI has helped me is also to transition from a backend engineer to a full stack engineer. So now with a basic limited understanding of front end, I'm leveraging AI to also do all the front end tasks in my current role. So I am working not just on front end. I'm working on front end. I'm working on back end. I'm also working on left shift approach, which is I'm also working on QA. So we have in tech quality analyst or testing team. So I am also doing that part also. So it's like I am a mini software industry. So our company has the client has adopted this left shift approach in such a revolutionary way that what they want is they want each engineer to become fully productive, leverage their whole potential, and eliminate the need for front end engineers alone or back end engineers alone or QA alone. They want one engineer to do it all, and use all the other operations. So still there are some QA people around, but what they do is they do design the strategies and all, and we become the implementers or executioners of those strategies. And then again there are front end people who or UX people who gives us that this is how the design will look, but we become the implementers by leveraging AI. So that's how I have transitioned using AI. And yeah, I can't wait to share more insights on that. Yeah.
That's amazing start. Like, I mean, see, any career where we are into, like, we cannot get stuck into that stereotypic 9 to 6 thing where we'll have to keep evolving. And AI is no longer that kind of thing where we'll have to, even I have done a good best certificate in AI, still I have to learn the very next day on what is a new thing which is getting evolved. So, in your workflow or in your career, like, what is the productivity element which you have increased so that you have saved some time or cost or effort, whatever, for the business also and for your profile also? In which way it is having a career advance, playing as a role of a career advancement partner?
Sure. So I will give probably few case studies to highlight that. First, I will just come directly to the number before I give the case studies. So if I see on an average, my productivity has at least doubled from what it used to be like maybe an year ago or two. Okay. Now I am, as I said, that now there is no need for my company to hire a front end engineer. So I'm saving front end engineer salary. My company doesn't have to hire a full time QA for my product. I'm saving a QA engineer salary. I'm doing the work of three people alone. Okay. So again, this is one of the things, like the productivity gain, if you see, it's like I'm doing the work of three engineers alone. Okay, and still I am able to get some of my own personal time to do self introspection, as well as to build my own awareness. So productivity wise, if you leverage AI fully, and also know when to use leverage and when not to leverage AI, that is also important. As Siddharth sir very subtly told, and that had a profound effect and should have a profound effect on all the job seekers as well as people who are in industry, that you should know on what use cases to use AI. Not so basically, I have a little different view. So people say that I now use AI or Chat GPT for content creation. Then, if everybody is using Chat GPT for content creation, your content creation will not stand out. Okay, and I have worked up close with many of the top people who are, like who have written, who are authors of like 8+ books, who are TEDx speakers and all, and they all still stress that the content originality is very very important. Building workflows around it, strategizing, that all can be leveraged or used AI. But the actual content, your actual creativity is the one which will attract the audience. That is why it's important to know when to use and when not to use. Again, if you are in coding, if you would have seen this buzzword by all the FANG founders, like Meta, for example, their CEO says that 30% of all the new code is being written by AI in Meta and all. And similar views are given by other founders at Fang as well. But if you look, there still the interviewing style is lead code oriented. So they still want their people to know DSA, data structures and algorithms. Very good design. Means all these design principles like low level and high level designs. Very good. Why is that? If AI was doing all of this stuff, then why for a freshman you are still having that? So of course there are some things which you have to understand. Some are their marketing strategy because they want to push this AI tools into the market. That is why they are hyping all this. Uh, but what you have to understand as an engineer is right now is the biggest time, and it's the best time to be an engineer. The reason being, if you are very very good in two things. The first thing is your basic engineering skill, computer science skills. If you are a computer science graduate, data structures and algorithms and design principles, all those things are good. Plus, if you are very good in soft skill, so soft skills is now the key skill to become a prompt engineer. All the new roles, okay, which you see in the AI. So most common role, the new role which has come in is prompt engineer. Okay, and the way I have transitioned from a backend to a full stack engineer is because I am very good at prompting. I am very good at communication. Okay, and that is how I have cracked more than 12 plus interviews in means 12 plus companies I have worked in last 16 years. Okay, so I have worked in all type of companies, not just service based, product based, because I'm very good at communication. So as an engineer, if you are, that in the top 5% or 10% who are very good orators, very good at leveraging your communication skills and then augmenting your basic computer science or tech skills along with this, then you are like deadly. Okay,
Sorted.
nobody can replace you. Yeah.
Right, right, right. See, on that note, I just have one question. Like, is there responsibilities wise, is there any new addition or a creative responsibility because you have adopted AI, or the responsibility remains the same? Let's say you are a backend engineer and you do XYZ jobs on a daily basis, but after adopting AI, is there any new or creative responsibilities which got added on in your career? Any thought process on that?
Yeah. So basically, if you see, the responsibility itself has shifted. So, like an year or year and a half ago, I was just asked to work on few of the backend tasks. Okay, or say suppose backend architecture and all. But now the company trusts me that since I have had experience basically in front end, and also I did a lot of shifting. I have learned various tech, as well as I have also worked on RPA stuff and all. So they had some trust and gave me the opportunity that do you want to transition as a full stack engineer. That means they are giving me the responsibility, added responsibility of a front end engineer, added responsibility of a QA engineer, and they are giving me the AI tools access that I can do those jobs better. Okay. And of course, as I said, that if being a techie you are given any task, then the first thing is what you do is you write down on pen and paper, okay, what that task will entail. Okay, so what is to be done, okay, why it is to be done, how it will impact business and business outcomes, or how it will enhance our customers. And then what you do is you create a plan of how it is going to be done, and then basically you go to AI and tell. So this is you set all the context. So would have heard the term about vibe coding. The next wave of vibe coding is something called as contextual vibing. Contextual vibing is when you give the right amount of context and right type of context to an AI tool, whichever you are using, and then your productivity level as well as the outcome, the actual business outcome, the deliverables which gets generated for the business, you see a real quality. Means the quality is top notch. So yeah, that's
Wonderful,
important.
wonderful. Absolutely bang on. Like a lot of very, very productive and future focused information you have shared. So, one final question will be: is there a mindset shift is required in the entire transitioning? Because so far I was doing an X job, but right now I'm adopting a new element towards my career. Is there a mindset shift which has to happen, or in your career you were to a different role, back end engineer, and moved on to a different role? What was the mindset when you are shifting, or what is your advice for shifting the mindset?
Yeah. So, mindset is the most essential part of any and everything which you do in life. Okay. So, basically, for my example, when I transitioned from backend to full stack engineer, my mindset was I have to leverage AI and I have to become a pro. Because right now, if you see what is going to happen is, okay, I will give you one stat and that should answer most of these questions. So, in the last 2 years, all the five major service based companies in India, okay, they what they did is they dropped the hiring of freshers by up to 90%. That means in the last 2 years, 90% of the people are still searching for job who have graduated from college. Okay, so that means what they have done is there is a mind shift change at the company leaders itself. Okay, that they think that the senior leaders, if you give them the right tools and all, they can create the work for like 5 to 10 engineers. One single engineer can do that much work. They don't have to mentor every junior engineer, spend so much time clearing their all doubts. And if you make them like individual contributors or these kind of people, then they can do work of 10 people. So that mind shift changed happen at the leadership level. So okay, this is happening at the employer level. Now what about as an employee, what mindset should I need to cultivate, I need to grow? So here the mindset is, first of all, uh, there are three parts. One is you accept what is the reality. So the acceptance part is, okay, AI is there, AI is being used everywhere, but one thing to understand is AI is artificial intelligence, it is not real intelligence, but still we accept that it is there. The second is you take accountability. Okay, so now you are in charge of your own career. So now you see how I can leverage AI better to stand out from the crowd. How do I make my profile so visible, as well as how what other skills can I develop so that I become unbeatable in my own this thing. And then the third part is like accommodation. So accommodation or actually working towards that. So once you have promised yourself that I can become a better version of myself, now you actually take some steps onto that particular path. So that way what you do is you change this particular thing, your mindset. Because uh, as I say that one of the key things is in tech, we have a this buzzword called as RCA. RCA is root cause analysis. Okay, so whenever a fault happens at the production line, we always go back and first try to figure out why did this happen, what was the root cause. We do introspection, inspection, and then we do the corrective steps. So in the AI era, if you are not doing RCA of your own career right now, then it is very much possible that you might be, on the next line. So if you don't embrace AI, if you don't know how to use it and how to use it in the right way, then tomorrow you can't complain that you are replaceable. Okay, and you can
Mm.
only grow in your life if you are replaceable. So remember that also. So don't live in survival mode, live into the higher value. So think about creators, how to become a creator, how to become an ideator, how to become a thinker, visualizer. Think in those terms. And then once you have thought that, okay, this is my goal, so set your goals, high goals, and then use AI tools to basically execute on them effectively. Okay, so yeah, that's the mindset shift one has to have.
Wonderful. So I think this is a time where we have to take our career in our own hands, or instead of depending on any organization which is offering the job. So we'll have to scale up and horizontally, vertically, we'll have to expand. Like somebody said, networking. Somebody said creativity. Especially you said mindset. These are all part of the roles where we have to take up our career in our own hands to embrace this new technology. And as you rightly said, first thing is to get accepted, right? So if you don't accept, then we are fighting back and forth where we no longer will be successful. And accountability in terms of upskilling and pivoting our career or networking outside, these are all, I think, a crucial mindset which is required for this particular thing. So thank you so much for sharing the very, very valuable, promising notes for our audience, because a lot of people are wondering what to do. But in this last 4, 5 speakers, including you, have given a wide variety of new knowledge, which will definitely help them in picking up something which can be very, very inspiring. I'll see you soon in the key takeaways point, and thank you for joining. Yeah,
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me here. It was a really insightful session by all the speakers and you. Thanks.
wonderful, wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. Now, moving to the last part of it, now we have seen a lot of promising notes from almost all the speakers, where they have given, not even used the word red flag, because they have always thought about the revolutionary aspect of the promising future which is there in the place. So now we will finally will work on what are the navigating AI driven challenges which we have to face, and what kind of optimistic viewpoint we should have in the entire futuristic viewpoint. So happy to welcome Mr. Samir Pal onto the stage, wherein he has brought a lot of a leadership element towards this, and he's been part of our various discussions in the forum. Happy to welcome Samir to this forum, and tell us what do you do, what kind of a role you do in your organization, what all aspects you do, and then from there we'll take up this discussion.
Thank you. Thank you, JS, and a very good afternoon to all my fellow speakers and the audience. I think we have had a fantastic session so far, JS. It was a great learning session for me as well, let me admit. I'm one of the directors of software engineering excellence in my current organization, which is Wipro. And as part of my charter, I am responsible to bring excellence in the engineering processes. And obviously, one of the contributing factors that has been given to me, or one of the contributing charters that is given to me, is how do you infuse AI in software development lifecycle to bring the best of solutions to our customers, while helping them accelerate delivery, while making it a lot more better in quality and cheaper, right? So that's the single objective that is given to me as part of my role, right? And I think whatever views I have heard from all my fellow speakers, I think they resonate very, very well with what I am also driving as part of my role. In fact, there are a lot of internal accelerators that we are building as part of my excellence team, wherein we can offer those accelerators or showcase those accelerators to potential clients and see how can we can solve their business problems, right?
Wonderful. So I think you will be the right person to ask this question. So, like, in from a business point of view, what are the barriers which is being faced by your business, and what are the challenges which you are facing in your business for which the automation which you're implementing is giving you some strategies? Can you throw some light on for why? What is the reason you are implementing AI to handle your challenges of business? Can you throw some light on that?
Right. So, I will answer this question from a perspective of a service industry because I'm part of a service industry. Um, I do a lot of client conversations, right? So, a very common observation or insight that I hear from all my customers is everybody is focused on on improving productivity, right? That seems to be the buzzword and mantra in the industry of all different sectors, because I talk to different sectors of clients, whether it is BFSI or consumer retail or telecommunications or capital industries. Everybody wants productivity improvement, right?
Correct.
Now, productivity improvement as a lever, when you think about, the first thing that comes to our minds is, hey, why don't you automate some of the existing things, right? Now, automation to me is a buzzword that was existing, let's say, 20 years back when it got invented. But as of today, while automation continues to mature and improve, AI has sort of come in this entire space as a new lever to improve productivity, right? And that is exactly the reason why a lot of my customers, they continuously keep on asking me, Samir, can you tell me what are those AI based solutions that you can help us in solving my
Okay.
business problems? They already have those automations built in, right? Now they want
Okay.
to go to the next level, and they want to understand how can AI be infused in their business process or in their delivery process to give them further productivity enhancements, right?
Okay. 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 So, is it in the point of view of time reduction, cost reduction, or effort reduction? Which are the three things? I mean, which one element which they want to reduce? Is there any viewpoint?
Yeah, I think cost reduction is the obvious reason that all of us. I mean, it's a no-brainer, right? I mean, all of us will understand
Yeah.
that. But I
Okay.
think the other key reason that I am seeing in the industry is to increase the competitive edge.
Okay.
Yeah, and what I mean by competitive edge is hinging upon two primary factors. One is the speed at which they release their respective products, depending on the industry, to the market. And the second, more important thing is what kind of experience they are giving to the end users,
Okay. Customer experience. Okay. Okay.
customer experience, right? Because you know, if I'm the owner of, let's say, I'm just taking an example. Let's say I'm an owner of a garment manufacturing company, right? If I want to stay relevant in this industry, I obviously will have to come up with new designs. I have to look at that entire spectrum of garments, profiling different set of customers, and what set of customers look at or will be interested in different types of garments. Can then, from an experience perspective, can I really give them an experience wherein they really select a particular garment online, right? And then they make a decision as to how that garment looks on them. And I know
Correct.
there are a lot of portals that have enabled this feature, right? Through augmented reality, virtual reality. There are a lot of companies who are still inventing, but then this is the kind of experience that I'm talking about, right? So these are the two factors, Kumar, that I'm seeing, which drives.
Oh, absolutely bang on. Like three C's you have mentioned. One is competitive advantage. Second is obviously the cost. Third is the customer experience, where business has to move on to this particular area to reinvent themselves to attract new clients and opportunities. Where they cannot
Absolutely.
give excuses to the market that I'm no longer doing this. So then
Correct.
they will lose the market. Like how Nokia has lost its charm after various other mobile phones. So
Correct.
every industry has that challenge to adapt to new technologies.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So in your experience, while seeing job seekers, do you see a lot of mistakes or mindset in adopting new changes? What is the best advice you want to give to them on adopting these new challenges?
See, I think this has been spoken by all my fellow speakers, and believe me, I am in complete alignment with whatever they have spoken. I think to me, the most important element is the mindset. Um, or let me elaborate this on a slightly more, right? Now, when it comes to the AI field, I would like to project my point of view in two different perspectives, right? Again, pertaining to the IT industry, if I divide this into two different categories of industries, one is the product companies, the second is the service companies. Now, product companies, I mean, it could be startups which could be focusing on a certain product which could revolutionize the market, or it could be a competition to an existing set of products already available in the market. Now, they potentially could be looking at, uh, building those AI models which is customized to their specific product needs, right? So, this kind of scenario, they involve a slightly different set of skills. Of course, there are a lot of models available in the market. You can definitely use them, leverage them, and then see how they can be customized, but a slightly different skill sets, right? Now, the second category of industry, which is the service industry, uh, the job of the service industry is not really to build any model. Of course, I know there are companies who build models, including my company, but I would advise that the primary skill that people should focus on, if you are in a service industry or want to get into a service industry, is number one, I think prompt engineering, which all my colleagues spoke about, because that is your interface to AI, right? And if you are not an expert in prompt engineering, I have seen that no AI model can help you. Yeah. So while AI models are the backbone, prompt engineering is key, because that is how you communicate to the AI model that what is
Correct.
that you're looking for, right? So that
True.
becomes a very important skill. Then the second is, in order to execute the day to day activities in a service industry, which could typically involve your application development, it could involve your application maintenance, it could be fixing a production bug, or it could be writing a small enhancement to your existing application feature. Those can be accelerated using available industry AI tools, and GitHub Copilot is a very good example. What I have seen, many customers, many companies have started adopting. So my advice is prompt engineering, and knowing how to use some of the existing tools are the key skills that people should really focus on from an AI perspective.
Excellent, excellent. One final question will be: how do you see the future in terms of business point of view? Because right now, you have given a very specific element of competitive advantage, customer experience, and all that. And in your conversation, do you see any new element which is expected from the customer?
I think again, this is covered by all my fellow speakers, but I believe having that confidence that you are not irrelevant, and I
Okay.
double quote this word, right? Having that right mindset of improving things, improving whatever you do, and using AI as an enabler to help you achieve your objective would be the key. And then from a skills perspective, I already said, the third thing which is coming very relevant, based on the different conversations that I have, is having a little bit about the business knowledge or domain knowledge, let me put it in that way, right? Because when you talk about AI, while there are generic AI elements that can be used in common activities like application development or application maintenance, which is more technology focused, right? But then if you think about applying AI for a particular industry, the first thing that you need to think about is what is that use case.
Hmm.
And believe me, use cases are very different for different industries, right?
Correct, correct, correct.
So that is, I think, an emerging skill apart from learning the technology aspects of AI, is something that we should really look to. You don't have to deep dive into the entire industry domain. Of course, people who are working in a given industry, it becomes a lot more easier for them. And I can tell you, those kind of roles will be in high demand. A domain specific expert
Hmm.
coming in and helping companies design and come up with the right AI use cases. So
Correct. Correct.
that's a role which is in high demand, what I'm seeing. But then people who are aspiring for getting cross skill into AI, I would suggest look at this element as well, because that's one of the emerging skill apart from the technology skill.
Amazing, amazing, amazing viewpoint. So, I mean, thank you so much for sharing your viewpoint on a Sunday. And instead of taking rest, you have made it a point that you show up and showcase inspiration to a lot of our job seekers. So, I'll before moving to the final thing, I'll just bring back all the panel members for a quick round of discussion. Let me bring it to the video mode. Yeah. So almost most of them are there. So before going to the final concluding remarks, let's have a quick rapid fire with everybody so that we understand some new viewpoint. So I have a question, which is like, what is the one AI tool which you use daily? I mean, not ChatGPT. Apart from ChatGPT, what are the one AI tool which you use daily? Starting from Satvik.
For me, it is 11 Labs. That is one of
11
the.
lakhs. Okay, okay. Deepak,
GitHub Copilot.
Copilot. Okay. Siddharth,
Copilot, the licensed version.
okay. Samir,
Claude, I use Claude a lot.
fantastic, fantastic. So let's move on to the final concluding remarks where we will give some hope and promise and inspiration to all our audience who want to pivot into a new career or start a new job in terms of this particular career. So, what is your final concluding remarks or key takeaway to the audience who stayed us with the last 2 hours and concluding remarks from starting from Satvik again? Satvik, are you there? Okay, let's move on to Siddharth.
So I'll conclude onto the same statement that I did shared during our conversation, GS, is we should always be creating our content. We should always be creative before depending on anyone else. And to give a very small example, recently there was a study done at MIT, and what the fact came out is that people who never used AI were able to write better, were able to tell better
Okay,
versus those who were using and those who were dependent on AI.
my
So
God.
again, I would close on to this particular remark that be creative, be yourself, and always create your content.
Mhm. So there is no replacement for networking, creativity, content, mindset, soft skills. I mean, that's the whole point wherein we are discussing so much. Thank you so much. Deepak, your viewpoint, final concluding remarks.
Yeah. So my viewpoint for anybody who is in the tech industry as a techie would be that if you want to cross skill in AI or even increase your own productivity, what you should do is you should first become very good in communication skills. Then only you can become a master in prompt engineering. And another thing is to succeed. Basically, you need to understand the why you are doing what you are doing. So the business goals you have to align to those, and accordingly you have to design your AI strategy. And still, I will say that all the gray matter work as a techie you should do yourself. You might leverage AI, but it will make you dumber if you try to use it for all the thought process. So do all the thinking yourself, use it for the execution part, and then you can succeed better and grow higher and higher.
Fantastic, fantastic. Baran, your final key takeaway.
Uh, Mine would be like, don't be scared, learn, discover, and embrace AI, and be real. Don't lose your essence of being a human.
Okay, okay. Thank you. Samir?
So, Kumar, I think the mindset that all of us should have is AI is your life partner, loyal life partner in your workspace. I think that's the mindset. And your life partner will help you in all your difficult times. It will help you with the right suggestions. it will help you to succeed. Basically, I think if you are having that mindset and then venture in the AI field, taking up the right skills, right trainings, right certifications, I think everyone will be successful.
Fantastic, fantastic. Few key statistics. I'll close it for the audience. So one is will be like 6 in 10 job seekers in India now use AI tools, irrespective of IT or non-IT. 6 in 10 job seekers are using AI. Second is AI-led interviews and resume screening are now standard for about 58% of companies. I mean, these screening tools, interviews, and all that has been very, very standardized for most of the companies. And finally, AI and human collaboration is driving 24% increase in productivity in hybrid teams. Okay, because any automation, right? Samir said like customer is experiencing or expecting multiple things. So this one productivity increase is what the implementation part of it, where AI is here to stay. It's not about replacement, it's about reinvention. That's the area which we have to think about. And upskilling is going to be on a daily basis. It's not something like I have done a course for 6 months and I'm ready to go to the market. It's everyday consistent upgrading is required. Learning one tool will build one new habit. There are a lot of AI tools which is popping up every single day. So learning those kind of tools or preparing to learn or investing at least half an hour to 1 hour on a daily basis is something which is very, very mandatory for entire thing. So the job market is completely changing. So make sure you are changing forward and not backward. So thank you so much for joining us today and having sharing with the wonderful panel members, spending your half day on this Sunday. Instead of taking rest, you made it a point that you come and share your viewpoints, which is very practical and insightful. And all the best for the rest of the day. And thank you so much.
Thank you.